Well, it's 3 p.m. and we are all set to begin with our today's webinar. A very warm welcome to all our participants present here today. A second act is your encore, your chance to keep your mind engaged and gain new experiences. It may be full time, part time, or very part time, but it gives you a sense of purpose and provides greater balance during your environment. Embrace the opportunity. There's a little known fact about second act careers that might surprise you. Most people don't really reinvent their careers for retirement. Instead, they repurpose and recycle their skills in new ways. They take the threads of their hobbies, interests, and old jobs and weave them together into new lifestyle friendly options for the future. Watch our expert share her experience and valuable learnings on the second act and how one can discover it. HR Association of India welcomes you all to the 2022 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic Discover Your Second Act. To know more about HRAI and its events, I would request all our participants to visit the link and details posted in the chat window. Request all the participants to kindly follow the webinar guideline mentioned in the chat window. It would be great to have all the participants' feedback. We will be running a poll before the Q&A session. Request all participants to kindly give your feedback on the session. I now take the privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker for today, Ms. Archana Datta, founder and CEO, The Second Act. Realizing the importance of self-discovery and the tranquility that comes with following one's heart, Archana laid the foundation stone of Second Act, an organization that hopes of providing anyone and everyone with the tools and opportunities they might be needing to give wings to their desires and consequently help people in discovering their inner callings, dreams, and second act. Using valuable insights from her long journey in the travel and hospitality industry, Archana strives to assist individuals and firms in becoming the best version of themselves. Understanding and psychological well being is a key ingredient in the evolution of a person. Archana offers guidance to those who find themselves at crossroads of their lives and careers and aspires to provide them with the tools to reconnect with their inner self and discover their second act through her second act. You can follow her on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. I now hand over the platform to Ms. Archana Datta. Over to you, Ms. Archana.
Hey, thank you. And thank you. It was such a long, drawn welcome note. So I'm quite pleased with myself and the introduction that happened. Everybody's off camera. I don't know whom to speak to. So will be nice if we see us. Otherwise, I will also go off camera and you can just hear my voice. What do you guys think? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming on, Charu, because I've learned it over time in this 2 years that how important it is to connect via Zoom since we don't have any other way. So I'll urge everyone to please talk to me because this is an interactive session. This is something that I want to share from my heart. And for that, I do need connection. I do need you guys to hear me, listen to my story, and maybe get inspired for your second act. Who knows what's coming out of this session? So thank you for being accommodative. Karan, Deep, Zarna, Chetan, Manish, Pooja, Vasu, Bhaumik, Tushar, Chirag, Deepak, Nimesh, Pranav, Durvasulu, Aditi, Neeraj, Sia, Shusti Gaur, and many more. Sorry, HRAI, I will like to get people on camera as much as I can. I can only request them, of course, if they don't come. I will still start the session, but then I don't know how this will go. So please join me in this very hot afternoon from Delhi. I am also joining in taking out time, thinking that somebody will get inspired and I can get inspired by somebody. So can we have some more people on camera? Okay, so urge Faisal and Peter to, if you can put in a message and also
Yeah,
try to urge
sure,
people,
will do.
that'd be great, because I don't know whom I'm speaking to and then what will they take out of the session. So
No, I
hi,
will message them in the chat box.
so hi everyone. I'm trying to just going to share the screen in a minute and then I will try to introduce you guys to myself. Can you all see the screen? Can I have thumbs up? People seeing the screen? Great. Hey, so we are going to talk about Archana Datta 2.0. The second act is my second act. It is my company which I formed because I needed to find something that inspires me every single day, makes me get up from my bed and tell me, "Oi, Archana, where is your second act?" So that's how second act 2.0 came. That's why Archana 2.0 came into being. So who is this Archana? I want to take you through a little story of mine. For more than 2 decades, I was with an organization called Lufthansa German Airlines, and there was a popular saying in Lufthansa that you don't resign, but you only retire from this place. Why did we say that? Because it gave the comfort, it gave, an area where we could also grow together. It was also like family. It was a world-class brand. It was German technology. It was a German opulence. They gave us business class tickets. My kids flew the world. I think before they even got into like finished schooling, they had seen about 50 countries. And I think life was great. 20 years of being here and everything was fine. I was able to take out time for myself, give time to family, and grow. I mean, everything was perfect. And then some call came like 6 years back and said, "Hey, hello, you are working with Lufthansa, you're heading loyalty for them. A hospitality company wants to also have a loyalty head. Would you like to join Hyatt?" Not knowing what will I really give value for, but since it was a call, I had never applied on LinkedIn, never had a CV ready, but some call came. So I said, maybe somebody knows me or noticed me or something. And those days we didn't even have social media. So I was very pleased with myself to say, yeah, why not? And it was a time to change. And I switched over to the other side of the opulence in travel, which was all about upgrades and suites and like 5-star hotels, resorts. So from flying business class to staying in very luxury hotels, also heading loyalty for them. Of course, it was a very like your proud moment for me. These 6 years went out beautifully. But then what happened? Sometimes in life, we are so you know we are thankful, but at the same time something is nudging us. Okay, what is something that I still can do? Is there something still missing that I haven't done so far? So these were the thoughts that I kept on going on with, like, okay, I have everything, but what is that something which is still missing? Okay, and that brought in the version 2.0 for me, the COVID version 2020. I resigned in March of 2020. Didn't know that pandemic will hit. At the same time, it was the most devastating moment for me because I tried to look a bit deeper, find out like a bigger meaning that I looked for. And then what happened? I resigned at a very great job that I was doing. Everything was great. And here, like when people are craving to be in my place, what did I do? I just dropped everything and then yeah, it was a black mask on me. It was literally this very hard hitting moments for me. I just didn't know what I am out set to do in my life. So at this point, I want you to be a little bit active with me. Okay. Just like I went through a lot, when I resigned, I want you to answer a few questions with me on a scale to 1 to 5, because these are some things that I was asking myself at that time. I was asking myself a lot of things which were making me feel in a certain manner. Despite being successful in so many various roles that I played, today I was standing at a point where I felt completely devastated, completely thinking I don't know anything, completely thinking, what will I do next? And why did these things happen? So on a scale to 1 to 5, we will use the chat box. Are we ready? Can we see some thumbs up, please? Okay, I can't see entirely everybody, but I hope that people are there listening to me. I just hope you guys are listening to me. Can you guys unmute at least and say, yes, you're listening to me?
I believe not all would be having that rights, but yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right. So my first question on a scale to 1 to 5 is, I am not good enough. On a scale to 1 to 5, what do you think? Use the chat box and tell me, I am not good enough is a feeling that I go through on a scale to 1 to 5. What do you think about yourself? I'm not good enough. Is 0 is I'm very good, and 5 is I'm not good enough at all. So where are you at this one? Can people reply here? I'm not good enough, the feeling that we go through from scale to 1 to 5. Great, I'm not good enough. I think you have a lot of people who are really doing well in their life, I have to say. At least I thought I'm not good enough. So I'm just bringing those questions to me when I left, and then I was going through so many things. Okay, so my second question is, I'm busy right now. I don't think I have the time for this. So on a scale to 1 to 5, how many people go through this feeling when something comes up during the day while they're working or doing anything else? Something else comes in their way, or there's some more time to be taken out for something, and we say, I'm busy right now. I don't think I have the time for this. Zero means that you have all the time, and 5 means that you really don't have the time. When something else comes up beyond what you're doing every day, and that's what you feel, I don't think I have the time for this. Please keep writing your scores. Just keep writing your scores, okay? We'll add it up later. Great. So my next question is, I don't think this will work out for me at all. Anything that comes our way, or a new opportunity maybe, a new feeling maybe, or anything new, a new relationship maybe, a new girlfriend maybe, and your first thing you feel is that I don't think this is going to work out for me. So I don't think it'll work out for me at all, number 5, and I think it will surely work out for me is number from 1 to 5, so 1. Okay, so how many people think this is never going to work out for me? Great, thanks Pooja, thanks Faisal, Sham, Charu, thanks for participating. Peterson, thank you. Sandra, you as well, thank you so much. Are you writing your scores, everyone? On the side, you don't have to write the question, but the scores, right? Okay, great. So when I describe myself to others, I start telling my shortcomings. So like a typical example of my own husband, when he introduces himself, he's a big guy, right? And when he introduces himself to somebody, he'll always say, oh, I didn't finish my college education. I was failing in class. I was the last bench person. You know, I never sat in front. I didn't do this and I didn't do that. So when you're introducing yourself to somebody, you speak about some things that you haven't achieved or you have not done so far. So number 5 is that you always speak negative about yourselves. And 1 is that you speak very high of yourself. Sandra, Charu. So when I describe myself to others, I start telling them my shortcomings. Great. Any more? Okay. So my next question is, I often sit in silence and I disconnect. I often sit in silence and I disconnect. Number 5 is that, yes, I sit in silence and I disconnect completely. Number 1 is that my mind is just a chatter and I hate the silence. So normally I sit in silence and I disconnect. Okay. Some people are playing very safe with 3, okay? So that's quite an average, neither here nor there. So like I probe you a little bit further to ask yourself authentically, what are you really as a person? And this is no judgment. This is not a zone where I'm just going to like, pick on you or something. This is for ourselves. So be just true as much as you can. So the first thing and the last thing in my day is my phone. So number 5 is always, and number 1 is never. So the first thing and the last thing in my life is my phone. Answers? Is anybody there or everybody is exiting? Okay, great. So the first thing and the last thing on my day is my phone. So number 5 is always, that's how it is. And 1 is no. Okay, any more coming? Very few participations. There are 32 people and I'm hardly getting any replies. So I would urge you to do this for yourself. This is literally a self-awareness tool. Literally a self-awareness tool. So when I see what other people are doing, I get intimidated. So how it is on social media, right? When we see what other people are doing, when we see on Facebook, I feel one less. I feel, oh, this is not my life. I feel intimidated. I feel overpowered. So feeling intimidated, number 5, not affecting you is number 1. So when I see people's life other than mine, I feel intimidated. Great. Some more people participating. It's going to give you some great results, I have to say. So participate. I take life seriously. I take life seriously. Number 5 is I take life really seriously. Number 1, not really. I take life seriously. Anybody who's participating, I get only 4, 5, 6 replies. I think more people can answer these. These are fun questions. These are really probing questions. I urge you to participate. I urge you. I get disappointed by rejection or rejection, sorry. I get disappointed by rejection or failures. So number 5, I really get disappointed. Number 1, it doesn't impact me. I get disappointed by rejections, dejections. More people, are you all there? 32 people, are you all there? So just answer this question. I get disappointed by rejection. Great, thanks, Sham. Sometimes, great, yes. So sometimes will come in number 2.5 or 3. Okay. So I have a purpose in life. Number 5 is, yes, I have a purpose. Number 1 is I don't have a purpose. I have a purpose in life? Your definition of purpose, but you have a purpose or you don't have a purpose. Or you just think life, the way it's happening is fine. You don't have to have a purpose. Negative thoughts come to me very easily. Negative thoughts come to me very easily. So very easily is number 5. Number 1. So if you're set out to something, so supposing for an example, if my son calls me and says, hey, I'm getting late, and if he doesn't come back home and then I'm trying to call him and his phone is switched off, the first thing I feel is, oh my goodness, something's happened. So do negative thoughts come very easily to you? Or are you a person who still thinks, no, it's fine, I don't need to panic? So number 5 is very negative. Number 1 is pretty positive. Okay. Okay, I think I will do the last question. So I think of myself as just another person, and my acts will not change anything. I think myself as just another person, and my one person's thoughts or actions might not change anything. So number 5 is when you actually believe you're that person and your one action doesn't impact anything. So I would not do it. Number 1 is that I'll still go along and I will try to make that little impact. Be honest, be honest, be honest. So Faisal, how many questions did I ask? Sorry, because I've lost track. I had so many written down.
You have 10 questions.
10 questions. Okay, so can you please total up and just put your total here? Everybody, whoever has been participating, can you put a total here of all the questions sum up? $25 for Sandra, 31 for Faisal, 31 for Charu, 29 for Sham, 20. Any more coming? Okay. So basically in any type of a workshop like this, and we try to put these questions, on an average, it varies between 25 to 35, okay? Which also means that we are always safe people, and we always want to be in the safe zone. And what does that mean? That means that life can be pretty dull, monotonous, and you'll never be able to discover your second act. So how did I start my journey? I started my journey with thinking, what am I capable of? After 26 years of leading roles, it's not that I was not head of departments or I was working as just one-off team. I was leading roles, I was leading departments. And at this point in my life, I was standing when the pandemic hit to say, hey, what am I capable of? And all these questions which I've asked you came up to me. Am I going to take life as it comes, or am I taking it too seriously? Am I going to take chances? Do I believe in myself? Do I know what am I capable of? So what I did was I was so confused that everything was pouring out, okay? Then I said, okay, what am I good at? And I was doing trainings at Hyatt at the end of my career. So I was like, okay, let me just try to do, trainings. And I said, great, let me form an organization which dealt in well-being, which went in leadership management, which dealt in soft skills, entrepreneurship, personal development, and a whole lot of things. And everything started pouring out. And I said, oh my goodness, can I be able to handle all of this with so many limiting beliefs that I have? And am I be able to do that focused work in any one of them? And actually the answer was no. So then I said, let me define second act. Okay, let me define second act, what this company is meaning for me. And it said, it's a continuation and yet an evolution. It's finding meaning, fulfillment, and deep sense of purpose. And I said, if I have to continue and yet evolve, because all these 26 years, I was doing very process-driven work. I was given work from my German company and then my American company. I was given work in that lead role. And I was just about, doing whatever I was supposed to do to the best of my ability. But could I think out of the box, which I could, but I didn't do? Could I evolve probably, in different other skills? Maybe I didn't even try. Could I find a real purpose of myself which aligned with the work that I was doing? Maybe not. And I think I want you to probe a little bit deeper here. Are you that person who can continue and yet evolve in the roles and the personal and the professional lives that we are leading? Can you find a bigger meaning, a fulfillment, and a deep sense of purpose within yourself? And believe you me, second act every morning teaches me this and a lot more. So I said, okay, then what do I actually do? I want to be focused. I want to actually continue and evolve from where I left. And I want to be that person who finds a bigger meaning and fulfillment that kicks my day, which makes me rise, which makes me shine. And I said, okay, let me base everything to what I believe in, the well-being and the mindfulness part of what I believed will take me through the emotional, physical, social, spiritual, and the intellectual part. And then I started to design a program where I thought that there are so many women out there in our corporate life who could not do a lot of things because there is an element of self-recognition and self-love that we completely miss through in all the roles that we play. It's in our DNA to put ourselves last. I hope that women who are joining me here will agree that we always put ourselves last, whether it is family, whether it is in office, whether it is with our kids, our relationships, everything, we put ourselves last. And that's the reason we are not able to celebrate our small wins. We are always leading roles, but at the same time, I think there is a nourishment which requires us to evolve to the next level. And I designed this program, I Celebrate Myself, in which in the corporate world, it was all about bringing in those small things, whether in your personal or professional life. For 3 days, we just spoke about the accomplishments we have in our day-to-day life and how can I evolve from there. So it was a beautifully crafted program. I don't know if I can show you, but let me try to. And tell me, Faisal, if you can see this video, okay?
Yes.
This is in the heart of Dubai.
The video is not
Maybe what has happened.
Just the voice.
We had a chopper ride.
Can you see this ad which is coming?
No. It's just the PPT that I...
Okay, wait. Let me just share it again.
We get a limousine. Again, we're driving around the city in limousine. We had a yard.
This
I went amazing. This is Burj
actually the
Khalifa.
screen is only not shared.
My screen is not shared yet. Okay. Technology, I still have to manage because this one. Now, the Burj Khalifa ad.
Yes. No.
Right. So let's just finish this ad and then we'll come to that main skip ad. Oh, what did I do? Sorry.
Bachpan se I'm very adventurous. When I left my hair in 2014, usually my husband at home, look after the kids, and I'm at office. I think it really helped me. as per our external. Tomorrow, it should change to something more internal. Free your mind. I celebrate myself with a beautiful platform. It is curated from my
Video is
and I couldn't have done it alone. So many people have helped me along the way, and I can't thank them enough. SETI workshops are must for women and even for men sometimes, probably, to take a break from your daily routine and find yourself.
When we started this, I never thought that I would feel so empowered by the end of it.
The last 2 days have been immense for me personally, and when I see people who have been a part of this along with me, I think it's life-changing. I Celebrate Myself is just a platform to bring in celebration, joy, and happiness, and I'm thankful to everyone who helped me to do this.
1, 2, 3,
Okay, I'm back. Let me share my screen again. Can you see this?
yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, so I started to actually build on those programs, which I believed that when we do not pay attention to something which is innate in us, which is so simple to do, something like just patting ourselves on the back, telling us that we are good enough, and all these limiting beliefs which come in our way, just swoosh wash and get rid of them. Then, of course, men came along and said, hey, you know what, by the way, what about us? We also have the same feelings. Just that men won't accept. Would you agree? Faisal, what about the others who are here, men? Would you agree that it also comes in your way somehow? Karan and Deep and I can't read Chetan. I mean, you guys, I'm sure that you will, of course, agree with me that there is something that completely gets missed out, right? Because men also go through the same feelings, just that they are men, they're conditioned to be the man. They are conditioned not to speak their heart out. And they always have to be the bread earner, the person who's having responsibility to take care of the whole family, the whole world, believe you me. So where do the emotions go? So we did a little survey to find out, okay, so if I have to bring men to a platform, would it be I Celebrate Myself? Nobody signed up, to be honest. Then I had to bring leadership into it. So see how the psyche works, And so I said, okay, let's name the program Lead from Your Core, because that is something that I think men can relate to. And so this program was all about empathetic leadership. Should I play the video, or are we running out of time? Because I'm very wary of it.
No, we can share.
Let me share the video. And then this is another program which was so beautiful. Only men and another female facilitator with me. And we had 3 days of just telling ourselves, what kind of a leader am I? Am I kind? Am I emotional? Am I, empathetic? Do I have feelings at all? And if I get upset, how do I emote? Do I even tell myself that I'm upset? Do I give myself that liberty to feel loved from inside, or even not judge me for just being a man? So let's just try to do this. Let me just try to see if this works. Just a moment. Okay, so if I stop sharing, back. One moment, okay. Can you see this?
अगर आप big business चलाते हो,
Faisal, can you? No,
only the PPT is what I can.
Only the PPT. Okay, let me just see how. Stop sharing and then just go back. Okay, now?
Yes. Now I can see.
Okay, so we'll skip
Then
the
give me your 3 hours and I'll.
शायद नहीं हो पाता कभी. Taking words from empathy or gratitude, I think all of these fit into the value system that we have, right?
Finally, I said MBA, bye bye. This is my second act. Being myself and being with somebody who also gave me that comfort became my focus.
But कहानी at the end of the day बनी.
So Lead from the Core was designed after a survey showed us that there is a gap when it comes to being leaders. Lead from the Core as a program really dwelled deeper into it.
Vision और चलाने के लिए एक और enterprise.
We've spoken in these 2 days about purpose, about values, about empathy, and these things are going to hold all of us in good measure in the challenging times to come. Lead from your core is what is going to see you through.
Best exercise day was the inner child therapy. And now I've started the healing process. Hopefully it will go on for much longer and be a very constructive experience in that.
I'm very thankful to faculties over here who have also taught us the value system of empathy, gratitude. And this is something which I will take back.
This workshop can change your life.
There were people whom we never knew, we've never met in the past, but they were more of friends by the end of the first day. And by the end of the second day, we were exchanging phone numbers and planning to, meet where we're going to meet next.
It's just the beginning of a transformational journey, I feel, and then there is a lot more to be discovered only if we allow ourselves to be open to invite and we are open to accept what's coming up.
2, 3.
Yeah, so I think it was a feather in the cap to have understood that there are a lot of people out there who need this actually. When we talk about workshops and especially in the management, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah.
So in the when we talk about workshops in the corporates, all my life also we have done so many trainings. There are trainings. We go to a training room, we spend 2 hours, 2 days, whatever, discussing goals, discussing the P&Ls, discussing कि आगे क्या करना है और company को कैसे बढ़ाना है. Who's looking at themselves? We barely look at what I am able to contribute in my own growth. How can I evolve in my own growth so that reflects further? And I think that is the focus of second act, really to bring in something that you have not discovered before for yourself. And once you have discovered that, you bring it to your teams, you bring it to your organization, and that's how the growth will happen. And then, of course, I've grown up kids and they said, hello, there is men and there is women, and what about the other people? And I said, okay, what are those other people? Because I have not dealt with any other people. So my daughter is really working with gender inclusivity and gender diversity, and she's studying that right now in Amsterdam. So she says, you know what, I think you're not being inclusive in your programs. I really think you need to be more inclusive. And that's when we designed this program, Dare to Wear Your Pink Boots. It was dare to be yourself, dare to stand up, dare to just show up, dare to just be. And this program involved anybody, not only people from, from LGBTQ, but also people from disability, people who were blind, people who, had autism or any other disorder, so to say, whom we do not put in the bracket of normal, and that was the sad thing, that all my life as well, it was the way I perceived people and the way I judged them. And it's breaking barriers within me, because I feel that when we take a task at changing somebody else's life, firstly, I'm changing something within. So this program, of course, we wanted to do it like an offsite. We really, planned everything, but pandemic hit us, and then we had to go on Zoom. But it was such a fantastic participation. It was and I think a lot of people from Signex also joined in for this program. It was speakers who came from all sections, from the disability, from LGBTQ, from organizations who are hiring, who are focusing on inclusivity came along. We spoke openly, we gave respect to everybody's emotions and feelings, and I think we unfolded something very beautiful. Through my programs, I came across a very beautiful partner, Sarika Panchi, with whom I have now come to creating retreats for women under the banner, the Coffee Bean Experiences. So we are doing these retreats with women. We take them out. Again, we speak a lot about the non-corporate-ish kind of, things that we go through from within. Basically, have a lot of conversation. The whole platform is about just having conversation on various topics. Again, about what stops us from bringing us, and what is something that I want to experience in life. What is my true self? Do I really want to laze around for 2 days? And am I allowing myself to do that? Maybe not. Sometimes I'm just so hard on myself, and why am I that? So we are answering those questions. And, we normally do everything around coffee. So our first program was, do you smell the coffee? That means that, are you really aware? Do you really smell the coffee? Do you take out time for yourself? Do you really give yourself that attention? So again, the Coffee Bean Retreats was a beautiful program. I have a video again. Do you want to see, or should we stay? Present?
No, it's fine. Yeah, you can share the video.
Okay. Let me stop sharing and go back and share it again. Wait. Just one moment. Oops. Can you see?
Yes, I can see.
Amazing. We made lots of friends. We spoke openly many issues. It is a bonding to all of us. We hardly knew each other. But right now, what I feel is that we have all connected at so many different levels. My reason for again liking this retreat and enjoying over here was that I was not judged for who I am. Quite an energetic learning session we had, and friends, and I just wish it would be.
So that was all the entertainment I had, but of course, just one moment, I'll just go through my presentation again. No, not this one, sorry.
LinkedIn is awesome, right? But using LinkedIn for straight, cold prospects.
wrong. I'm just. So, okay, so basically then what happened was that I said, okay, now the programs are all set. I am actually focusing on what I want to design. So I started to bring these learnings to the corporate sessions. I also started to curate sessions with a lot of people who were in the different spaces, because I believe that I was not an expert, but at least I could curate programs with them. So I started to bring in programs from people who were experts in their fields, from motivational speakers to maybe artists, to maybe filmmakers, to maybe advertising guys, and you name it. And these sessions started to come on beautifully because, again, it enhanced my learning. I said, oh my goodness, there is so much in my own second act that I can still learn from somebody else's learning, and that just doesn't stop me. In the moment, I also got an opportunity to work with marginalized community women in the sanitation space. I empower them in under a program called Pink Toilets. They work in toilets, but we are making them human-centered designs by firstly building on their capacity. So we give them lots of trainings around communication skills, personality development, the way they can be leaders of tomorrow, to also getting public-private partnerships to make the spaces holistic. We try to bring them, make these women-led facilities like sanitary pad dispensers, breastfeeding areas, book reading clubs, etc., so that women start feeling that this is their space, their growth, etc. So that is another thing that, second act dwell into, impacting lives of these women and learning through the way. But that's where my heart lies, and this is where my learnings lie. I also hold podcast, Discover Your Second Act podcast. It is, I completed my 60 episodes just today, and it is such a beautiful journey because such fantastic people have come on my platform, and it's growing. Initially, I had to, of course, leverage, people whom I knew, whom I could reach out to say, hey, why don't you come on my podcast? And then, of course, it lit like a chain. And now, of course, a lot of people contact me and say, hey, can I be on your podcast? And I think that is something that has happened because I believed that there was something that I was getting involved. I was focusing on myself, and I really wanted to pay attention to what is giving me that higher purpose, that higher joy. So I'm ever grateful to every day that's unfolding, to all the guests who are coming, all the programs, all the trust that the corporates are, and all the people who have on us. And I think there is no better way. So I feel that though I'm a new kid on the block, but I'm a 2.0 version only because I believed in myself, because if I didn't, nobody else will. I got inspired and not intimidated. I did get intimidated, no doubt, but of course I got inspired every day because I am that authentic person. I open to very authentic conversations. I am the real person, I feel. I am very vulnerable. I don't have any qualms in saying, hey, this technology fails me. I'm sorry, but I'm not able to do this right. And lots of other things. And I reach out for help. And I think that's what we need to do. We need to reach out to help for help, which we normally hold ourselves back to say, agar main पूछूंगी तो कोई क्या बोलेगा? And they'll think one less of me कि इसको ये भी नहीं आता है. So, but that's okay. That's fine. Everybody doesn't know everything. I'm more self-aware. I have strong values. I read, write, and listen more deeply. And I have really started to believe that there is no shortcut to learning or being persistent. There is no shortcut. We have to keep learning and being persistent. And of course, learn from your young ones. Like I gave the example of my daughter. My son just, through second act, he took a workshop on NFT, a subject I didn't know. And he was very kind to say, hey, I will come and, speak to your audience if they are interested. So a 24-year-old boy took NFT by storm, I would say, and answered so many questions. I mean, seriously. So there's so much potential in these young kids who's lying there. Don't stop them. They are the power factory. And yes, everything happens for a reason. I quit my job. I don't know why. But the way it's unfolding in my second act, definitely there is something for a reason. So don't worry, take chances. Don't just hold yourself back from learning or taking another discovery, because there will something new which will come out of that. Change the glass of your perception, because everything our mind is reading might not be true. Everything that we also see might not be true. Sometimes क्या होता है ना, हम कोई WhatsApp message देखते हैं और उसको misconstrue कर लेते हैं. Like if I check my husband's phone or he checks mine, I say, somebody is messaging him. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's just something else that I'm reading, and maybe my mind wants to read something. So I think changing the glasses of perception is very important, and we need to look at things differently. And we are responsible for our own life. Not only that, but also the life that it impacts other people. It's a whole chain. So if my action, if today what I'm doing can impact even my family in a certain way, it will be a chain, I can promise you. They will always be more aware. They will always think that there is a second act lying somewhere. They will not fear from taking a chance. Gratitude, your forever companion. Of course, we can't thank what's happening with us and all the good things that life has given us. Social media is definitely our friends with benefits. Don't get intimidated, use it and use it to our benefit. It will save you through. And all we have is now. So answer this question in the morning. Am I the better version for myself? Am I that better person today? By doing these small things, by changing a few things around and making the best use of it, to be honest. So do you then have a second act coming? Do you see that? So if my little story inspired you, or, in 1.5 years, if I could do so many different things and so many different learnings that have come out, I'm sure you guys are sitting out there, you can change the trajectory of so many lives, your life first. So thank you for hearing me. I don't even know, if everybody was with me or, you heard the story, but I'll be very happy to answer a few questions if you have. And of course, your feedback is very important so that I can do better next time when I'm coming to any forums.
Before we move into the Q&A session, we'll be initiating the poll. Request all participants to kindly share your feedback.
So do I get to see the feedback?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so how do I do that? In the chat?
I will share the screenshot.
Oh, great.
While doing so, request all participants to kindly post your questions in the chat box. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We have received a lot of inquiry about the e-certificate offered by HRAI. You can claim your certificate by sharing your details, name and session attended in an email to the email ID provided in the chat window. Please ensure you do this by the end of this month. We will email the e-certificates to you based on the details received. Request participants to please ask your questions. So we have received some of the questions from the registrations, Ms. Archana. Like, how do I motivate myself to look beyond and accomplish something that really matters to me? Is the question.
So how do I look? Can you repeat it?
How do I motivate myself to look beyond and accomplish something that really matters to me?
Right. So if something really matters to you, you don't need motivation for that, to be honest. When I really want to do something, I do not need to be motivated for. I will do that something. So supposing for an example, if smoking motivates you, nobody can stop you from not smoking. You will smoke. Similarly, if 12 o'clock binge watching motivates you, you will still watch 12 o'clock movie despite having a long day, and you will still sleep at 2 o'clock. So I just feel we need to tune ourselves to finding the real deeper purpose, as I said in this as well. And that should be then my motivation to go. And then you don't have to be motivated at all. You will do it anyway. So my second act motivates me despite the busy, so many laterals that I'm handling, because it gives me that spark. I'm motivated to, because I know that even if one person I can touch from today's session, that's my motivation. And, I don't need to be motivated for that. I'm very happy to do it and over again.
Very well said, Ms. Archana. There's one more question from Charu. She's saying, how to hold my patience in time of despair, believing in the fact that all what happens for the best.
So Charu, to answer your question, we get perturbed because our mind tells us to be perturbed. It's really the shifting of goalposts. If my mind is telling me I'm stressed about something, I will believe in it. We need to tune ourselves to believing in something better, which is there in our life, rather than feeling distressed about something that probably is not. So I think in these times, there are tough times, there are desperate times, there are very, very hard times. But there is a silver lining. There is 100 other things which are going right. And I think when we tune in to see all of that and probably, do a gratitude journal, or bringing my mind to think in a certain way, it will happen. It is also a lot to do with what I'm talking to myself. So everything impacts here. So if I'm telling myself, oh, I'm nervous about this whole program today and it will not go well, it will not go well. If I know that I need to keep my calm despite, so many people not being on screen, but I need to give my best, I will give my best. So just an example. So I'm just saying everything is right here, how we see world. So it's really, I want to share that I am not a Zoom person. I wasn't a Zoom person when things hit. Of course, I had just started to build on second act. And I used to get nervous that people didn't come on screen. Oh my goodness, that means I'm a failure. People don't want to see me. People are like, always thinking that, oh my God, who's this woman? Waste of time. All that my mind said. Today, I have evolved to say, people might not be in the right place to open their windows. They might be just not comfortable in showing their faces. It's fine. I am here to deliver a purpose. My mind is saying, relax. People are hearing you, and something they will take away probably. So my mind's rested. Talk to yourself a little bit more and just tell yourselves that, yeah, he's good.
Charu has said thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Charu.
There's one question like, what kind of programs and workshops are organized by Second Act? So do we have any?
Yeah, so I just told you we work on mindfulness and well-being programs. Everything that I need to be mindful about, whether it is something that I need to deeply look inside myself and being mindful about my own actions, behaviors, habits, changes, perspectives, or it is also the how I react to certain things, why I react in a certain way, why I do, and the overall well-being of myself. So that if I am able to take care of my mental, physical, psychological, spiritual, and financial needs, I will be able to take care of everybody else around me too. So these are the kind of programs. So I gave you some examples. I Celebrate Myself was one, so these are my stalwart programs. Lead from Your Core was second. Dare to Wear Pink Boots was the third. We do coffee bean retreats. Do you smell the coffee? Programs like this will give you a window of the kind of programs we do. And so everything that we do is centered around this, my limiting beliefs, what stops me from being me, my authentic self, all these programs, the power of being me, believing in what you have, kind of programs, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Archana, for an insightful and motivating session. You kept the discussion so interactive and engrossing. The participants not only learned a lot, but also enjoyed the session. It has been a pleasure being with you today. I'm sure our participants had a lot to learn and take away from this session. Before we conclude with today's session, I would also want to thank the association members, GACIA, NASSCOM COE, LinkedIn Local, Talgro, TLE, and WICCI for supporting these HREI events. To know more about these associations, I request you to kindly visit the link provided in the chat window. Thank you once again, dear speaker and our participants, for joining us today. Do join us for our next masterclass on the 27th of April, a session by Ms. Vandana Tolani, founder and CEO Covanto, on the topic Startup to Exit, all about investments. Request you to kindly register for this event at the link mentioned in the chat window. Also, do join the Dialogue 2022 WhatsApp chat group through the invite link shared in the chat window. That's it from our today's webinar. See you soon. Stay safe. Take care and bye for now. Thank you, Sachina.
Thank you. I hope that this gave some nudge to your second act.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Don't stop reinventing yourself.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.